Welcome to
안녕하세요.
Sojong Art Talk.
서정훈입니다. 오늘은
Today,
루브르에서
let's take a look
보아야
at the
할
fourth
네
work
번째
in our
작품입니다.
Louvre tour.
그런데 오늘
Today's
작품
work
루브르에
would be
가면
impossible to
어차피
miss if you
보실
visited the
수밖에
Louvre
없습니다.
because of
그냥
its sheer size.
보여집니다.
The
왜냐하면
artwork is
워낙
980
크기
centimeters
때문입니다.
across
보시죠?
and 620
작품은
centimeters
가로가
high.
980cm,
It's monumental.
높이가 620cm입니다. 엄청나죠?
The work's
작품의
central
주인공은
figure is
잘
clearly
아시는
visible, Napoleon I.
일세입니다. 보이시죠?
Because of the
그림이
size,
크다 보니
Napoleon stands
나폴레옹
around
일세는
176 centimeters tall.
176cm쯤으로 그려졌습니다.
But we are told that the real
그런데
Napoleon was
실제
only around
나폴레옹의 키는
169 centimeters.
169cm로
So in the picture, Napoleon's height is slightly exaggerated.
나폴레옹이 약간 크게
And the
그려진
reason?
것이죠. 짐작이 가시죠?
The artist wanted to make the audience
관객이
fall into this
속으로
painting,
빠져들어오기를
so he
원했습니다.
painted it larger than
그래서
life.
실물 크기로
The subject
그렸습니다.
is the coronation of
내용은
Emperor
나폴레옹
Napoleon
일세의 황제
I.
대관식입니다.
The
화가는
painter wanted
모든
viewers to feel
관객을
present
대관식
at the
현장
coronation
속으로
ceremony.
끌어들이려 한 것이죠.
So, this is the reason
당연히 커질
for the
수밖에
enlargement.
없었던 것입니다.
In fact,
그랬을까요?
this enlargement
나폴레옹의
is typical of
황제
Napoleon.
대관식이기 때문입니다.
In 1804, France controlled the majority of Europe, and Napoleon stood at the top.
선두에 서서 말이죠.
He was beloved by the French people because he made France powerful.
능력이 세지니까요.
Napoleon wanted more though.
나폴레옹 역시
He
욕심이
wanted to expand his
들어갑니다.
territory.
옆으로
But whether the desire for conquest stemmed from him alone or from the atmosphere in France at the time is another question. However, taking advantage of this national feeling in an 1804 national referendum, Napoleon was elected Emperor of France. Around 3,520,000 votes to around 2,500. That's a landslide 99.93% of the vote. Napoleon's confidence must have been through the roof. The result is this coronation of Emperor Napoleon I and Empress Josephine. Napoleon wanted his glory to be known far and wide, and he needed an artist to help him spread it. The artist he found was Jacques-Louis David. But why him? In order to answer that, we need to examine his style. First, let's look at the death of Marat. Second, the portrait of Pierre Cerizia. And last, the death of Socrates. The three show a clear style. The first is painted lifelike. Painting like this leaves the viewer no room for interpretation. It is exactly as David pictured it. The second is a still, tranquil portrait. This kind of painting shows off David's creative talents. The third is a meticulously executed painting. Particularly in the shape of the hand, it's possible to make out the intricate musculature and the movement of the joints. With its thorough planning, this work doesn't stray far from its intended subject. For these characteristics, Napoleon judged David as the right man to spread his message. While David painted the picture, it can be described as a collaboration with Napoleon. Through his instructions, his sponsorship, and his trust, this work was completed. Now, let's examine its contents. First, Napoleon. But something's a little strange. Although Napoleon is being coronated, looks like he's about to give his crown to somebody, and he's already wearing something on his head. Look closer at the woman kneeling before him. It's his wife, Josephine. David has chosen not to show the moment when Napoleon has received his crown. This is the scene of Napoleon crowning his wife. Why has he depicted this scene? Here's some background. Originally, at a coronation, the Pope would be doing the coronating. as the emperor holds the highest rank, there can be no other worthy of crowning them. The Pope is God's earthly representative.
교황은 신의 대리인 격이니까요. 그런데
But Napoleon wasn't satisfied with this arrangement. Napoleon desired to be one level above all previous emperors, so he refused to receive the crown from the Pope and decided to crown himself, a self-coronation. Take a look at this sketch. Crowned in a laurel wreath with his arms raised high, Napoleon is showing off the crown he will give to his empress. The Pope is sitting, slouched, a little behind him. Napoleon is obviously depicted higher than him. This sketch is one of a number of variations that Jacques-Louis David contemplated using. But he didn't end up using this one. The planning of David's painting alone took 1 year. It was a carefully designed piece. Let's take a look through it. The Pope is in attendance, albeit as a well-wisher only. Napoleon has crowned himself in a laurel wreath and is about to crown the Empress Josephine. And surrounding him, surely his family must be present. In the dead center of the frame, on a large chair, is an elegant woman. In such an important place, it is of course his mother, Maria Letizia Bonaparte. In reality, his mother wasn't in attendance, but she is depicted here as a matter of record. Next, his brothers. From the left, Joseph Bonaparte, his older brother. Napoleon bestowed upon Joseph the kingdom of Napoli. Next to him, his younger brother Louis, to whom he entrusted the Netherlands. After him, his 3 younger sisters, Caroline, Pauline, and Eliza. Next to them, his sisters-in-law, and the child, his nephew, the Prince Charles. That's it for his family. Next, his trusted aides. But there are too many to go through one by one. No matter if they attended or not, David painted many people of importance, and that's a lot. But that's this picture's aim. In order to plan the composition out completely, David set up dolls in his workshop, and attendees came to David's studio individually to be painted. We can only guess what it took to complete this work. Lastly, I should talk about this person. This is Jacques-Louis David. He's holding a pad, making records. He even placed himself there. Out of the thousands of existing works of art, has there ever been one as thoroughly executed as this one? Will there ever be another? If such a work were made today, what would its artistic value be? Let's take a look at the results of this work. When the painting was released, Napoleon and his aides visited the studio of David. When the party saw the finished piece, how did they react? Napoleon said something like the following to David. This is no ordinary artwork. It's too splendid. Even now, I feel like I can enter into it. How could you read my mind so well? David, I salute you. David was awarded a great prize for such a work. But we are looking at this work from a different perspective. Not as Napoleon or his company, but from a critical standpoint. The picture is intimidatingly big, but we aren't touched by its size. It's an intricate painting too,
생동감이
but
느껴지질 않습니다.
doesn't feel alive.
왜일까요?
Why is that?
계산대로만 그렸기
This is a
때문입니다.
side effect
그것의
of the meticulous
부작용입니다.
planning.
다비드는
When planning
작품을
his work,
개상할 때
David referred
루벤스의
to Rubens'
마르드 메디시스
coronation in
대관식을
Saint-Denis.
참고했다고 하는데
Let's compare these two works.
느낌이
The
전혀
feeling is
다릅니다.
very different.
루벤스의 작품은
Rubens'
살아서
work
움직입니다.
teems with life.
차이점을 찾아보죠.
Let's find the differences.
루벤스의
In Rubens'
대관식에는
coronation, we
다양한
can see
감정들이
various
나옵니다.
different people.
열광하는 사람,
Enthusiastic people,
괜찮은 사람,
pathetic,
화난
angry,
사람,
disinterested,
관심이 하나도 없는
jealous
사람,
people, people
부러워하는
chit-chatting,
사람,
people sleeping,
잡담하는 사람,
people tuning musical
사람,
instruments,
악기
people being
조율하는
noisy.
사람, 떠드는
Their
사람.
expressions and movements are
그들의 표정과
individual.
몸짓이 일일이 표현되어
What about in
있습니다.
David's coronation?
다비드의 대관식을
Everybody
보면
has their eyes
모든
fixed
사람이
on Napoleon.
나폴레옹이 지켜든 왕관을
From the
바라보고
left,
있습니다.
his brothers,
왼편부터 보죠.
his sisters,
그의 형제,
even his
루이드,
infant nephew are
심지어
all
어린아이인
transfixed.
조카까지 다
Like
그렇습니다.
They're mesmerized by the crown.
왕관만 바라봅니다. 모의 단체로
Look at the soldiers standing to the side. It's exactly the same. Those seated on the second and third floor too, no matter where they are, they look at the crown. No expressions on their faces. So, you see the comparison.
비교가 되시나요?
The unique coronation
다비드가 그린
style of Napoleon
나폴레옹
I
일세와
and the
주제되는
Empress
왕의
Josephine,
대관식은
the politically minded painter Jacques-Louis David, and the situation in Europe at the time combined to make a painting like none other before it.
상황이 어우러져 만들어낸 전에 없던 그림이라고 할 수 있습니다.
Usually, a
보통
painting's
그림의
main role
감상은
is to be
화가의
appreciated,
손으로 이루어집니다.
especially to
그
show
창조성이
an artist's
가능해지죠.
creativity.
그러나
But
이
this
그림은
picture is different.
다릅니다.
First
먼저
and foremost
나폴레옹에 대해 생각하게
is
됩니다.
Napoleon.
그 다음
Only then do we think of David.
다비드에 관해서는
Next time we'll have a chance to
다음
look
시간에
at and
다른
appreciate
작품을
one of
보며
David's
더
works.
감상해 보기로
But
하겠습니다.
Today,
오늘은
let's just consider the
루브르에서 두
Louvre's
번째로
second
그린
biggest painting,
나폴레옹의 대관식을
The Coronation of
감상하셨는데요.
Napoleon.
배경이 이렇듯 작품에 관한 평가는 다양합니다.
There are many varying
취향에
opinions of this
맞게
artwork,
감상하시고
and the value of this
원하는
piece to you
방향대로
depends
평가해보시죠.
entirely on your own
다음
personal
시간에는
tastes.
다섯 번째 작품으로
Join me next time when we will be looking at another artwork from the Louvre. Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Everyone, it's time to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. See you next time.